By the way, my name is Versatile, aka the Alkebulan Trust, the name you can trust when it comes to all things reactions. So, without further ado, we're just going to get into this trial. So bear with me if I'm looking at my phone. It's because I've got my notes there, all right? And this format is still technically new to me in terms of, yeah, it's still technically new to me. So yeah. So basically, hold on, give me a second. I don't think this is. All right, so the trial took place on May 12th, right? The first day, because obviously May 5th was more of the jury selection, and because that's when I thought the actual thing was happening, right? The actual trial's happening, but no, it's not that. It was the jury selection, all right? And so the allegations of the trafficking, the racketeering, and more have emerged, and I have to explain these charges because I've seen some comments where, put it this way, with certain that when people are seeing things by other people, they don't get the full context of what's going on. And even further than that, I don't think no one has really explained the charges. They haven't explained it. Do you know what I mean? They haven't really explained in terms of why it's a federal crime, not just a crime, a federal crime. Yeah, this is why it's a federal lawsuit, because a federal crime has, I'm going to say, allegedly been committed. The reason why I'm putting the word allegedly is because he has not been convicted of those crimes yet. Yeah, so I'm just saying that to protect myself legally. All right, I'm saying allegedly. All right. So let's understand these charges. So the trafficking, this involves coercing or forcing individuals into acts for commercial purposes. When I say acts, I'm blanking out a particular word because obviously YouTube purposes and that. But yeah, it's a federal crime when it crosses state lines or uses technology for recruitment and exploitation. Yeah, it's key that you understand that. That's why it's a federal crime. All right. Then there's the RICO Act with the racketeering. Yeah. Now, to understand this, that is engaging in organized illegal business activities. Yeah. It becomes a federal crime because it spans multiple states and includes money laundering, extortion, and trafficking. Yeah. And I can understand people's griping when they want to say, oh, but then that means it involves other people. Why are they not being arrested? Why are they not being, you know what I mean? I'll give you an example, right? And I'm pretty sure, I need to be careful here. Because there is someone else that's been, maybe it's because their name's been attached to it. It's just one person I can think of. If you know about Chloe from Smallville, the person who plays Chloe from Smallville, do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's keep moving. So I can understand people's situation in regards to that, but we'll get into that. And then the third one is money laundering, concealing the origins of money obtained illegally, often through complex transfers across international borders. All right. This is a federal crime due to its international and interstate nature. All right. Then there is the narcotics distribution. Yeah. Allegations include the distribution of controlled substances during private events. All right. This is a federal offense when it involves trafficking across state lines. It is a crime. It's a federal crime. Yeah. The next one is obstruction of justice, allegedly manipulating witnesses, tampering with evidence, and using threats to silence key individuals. This is a federal crime because it interferes with federal investigations. This is why, yeah, Sean Combs, aka Diddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Puffy, aka Puff Daddy, you know what I mean? Like, aka love. Like, this is why he was refused bail on multiple occasions. Because, do you know what I mean? There's another time where he's interfered and tampered with evidence, but also, do you know what I mean, with the situation in 99. Do you know what I mean? So we keep moving. So with day one, let's just talk about day one for a moment, right? So the opening statements of the first testimonies, the prosecution laid out its case accusing Diddy of running a network of trafficking through exclusive parties called FOs. I'm not going to say the word FOs. Yeah, I'm not going to use the word because it could be a trigger word for YouTube, and I'm being careful here. It may work for other people, but I'm being careful. All right. They stated that women were coerced, manipulated, and controlled through financial means and threats. Yeah, by financial means and threats. Cassie Ventura, fine. Yeah, let's call her Cassie fine because we're going to respect her marriage. Yeah, she's a married woman, so she is Mrs. Fine. Yeah, she is Cassie. She's Mrs. Cassie Fine. I don't know if she still kept her family name in terms of, you know what I mean, Ventura, but let's respect that. All right, Cassie was named as the primary witness. Yeah, with allegations that she was manipulated and forced into these events. Prosecutors also mentioned Kim Porter. Now, this is interesting. The fact that they mentioned Kim Porter, yeah, we'll get into that later, yeah, because Kim Porter, yeah, if you didn't know, was Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mothers of, I think, about 3 of his children or 2 of you. Actually, wait, she's the mother of Quincy, which is the you could say Diddy's stepson. Then she's the mother of her her twin daughters, and her daughters look so much like her, like so much when I think about it. But anyway, that side, then I think also is it Christian Combs? Christian is her son as well. So yeah, so technically it's 3. All right, hinting that she may have been aware of Diddy's activities but did not testify. So let's we say that. So prosecutors also mentioned Kim Porter hinted that she may have been aware of Diddy's activities but did not testify. And she can't testify, unfortunately, because looks what's happened. And then we have to reinvestigate her situation on how, she unfortunately passed away. Because everyone was confused at that time, like her passing away of pneumonia. Like, it was like so confusing. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Evidence promised by the prosecution include hotel records, bank transactions, encrypted messages, and surveillance footage. Yeah. Anyway, testimony of Homeland Security agents. That's another thing that happened on day one. Agents testified that investigations had been ongoing for years. You see, listen, I'm gonna tell you something and tell you something very well about, like, when it comes to investigations. I know some people want to say, "Oh, Cassie's the mate. She's the star witness. This, that, and the third. She's the one." No, 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 no. What you need to understand is, if someone is being investigated for years, trust me, I'm telling you, these people are investigating for so long that they got so much evidence on. Look, there's a reason why the feds, yeah, in America especially, there's a reason why their success rate is so high. It's in the 90% tile. Like, it's so high, so high. So, like, and yeah, he may have Brian still on his case, but Young Thug and Diddy are 2 different individuals. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's keep it moving. All right, so agents testified that investigations had been ongoing for years, tracking encrypted communication, financial transactions, and private flights used to transport women. You see, they've got evidence. All they need is testimony. All they need is the testimony, and for the jurors yeah, to see the evidence, to hear and see the testimonies, hear obviously Sean Combs' defense, yeah, and then they can decide whether he is guilty or not guilty. It's that simple. But obviously, it's a complex case, but it's not really a complex case. This is just formality at this point. And I'm not even just trying that to be harsh, but if I'm seeing this here, that they've been investigating for years, and they like, and one of the charges is to do with trafficking. What is transpute? What is this part here in terms of ongoing for years, tracking encrypted communication, financial transactions, and private flights used to transport women? That is, in basic terms, trafficking. Anyway, and like I said, evidence promised by the prosecution included hotel records, bank transaction, encrypted messages, and surveillance footage. All right, testimony of Homeland Security agents. Agents testified that investigations have been ongoing for years, tracking. Okay, we read that though, didn't we? Anyway, all right. So part one: Cassie Ventura, Cassie Fine takes the stand. Cassie described being introduced to the FOs and detailed how Diddy controlled her finances, restricted her movements, and forced her to participate in group activities with other women. She mentioned events happening in Miami, New York, and Los Angeles, describing the heavy use of alcohol and narcotics. Now, here's that. Here's what we're trying to say, or what I'm trying to say. These events happen in Miami, New York, and Los Angeles. That is 3 different states. Therefore, that is trafficking. That is a federal crime. And narcotics were used. Alcohol, you can more or less be like, all right, alcohol happens, and I'm not excusing it, but I'm saying alcohol does happen for in some circumstances, and obviously whether you're I forgot what the word is inebriated, that's another thing. But at the end of the, you know what I mean? The reality is the reality is when it comes to these things, you have to pay attention to the details. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Pay attention to the details. All right. So hotel receipts and text messages were presented showing Diddy coordinating travel and accommodations for the women involved. Evidence. It's just formality. This is all this is. This is just formality. Anyway, so the defense sorry, excuse me. So defense cross-examination part 1. The defense attempted to discredit Cassie, focusing on her long-term relationship with Diddy. They questioned why she remained with him if it was abusive. But come on, did you not see that video of her trying to leave? Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, but obviously they have to ask that question. All right, cool. They suggested her claims were exaggerated and financially motivated, hinting at affection and willingness through text messages. Now, when it comes to these type of relationships, unfortunately, yeah, it is a psychological and an emotional thing, yeah. And at the end of the day, if someone is that controlling, like the funny, not even funny, the thing I remember with Gene Deal, this is why I wish Gene Deal actually testifies, because he can talk about the Kim Porter situation and the Cassie situation as well. Because I literally remember him saying on the Art of Dialogue on that platform that Diddy literally was so controlling, like in terms of not controlling in terms of basically controlling in terms of like if Kim Porter wanted to go somewhere, if she wanted to go out, he would put people on her to look what she's doing and where she's going, this, that, and the third. Like, do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, and I think with Cassie, listen. but yeah, I don't know. Let's keep moving on. So that's just day one, all right? And I need you to understand something as well with the whole day one situation. It's a thing of we have to put things into perspective, okay? And when it comes to these type of things, it's a very serious allegation. And I know some people want to say, "Oh yeah, but she's a willing participant." This time, the third, you got to remember how they met. You know what I mean? She was already in a relationship with Ryan Leslie. I don't know if that was mentioned properly, but I remember she was in a relationship with Ryan Leslie. You do the maths. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, let's do the maths again. Look how old she was when she met him. I'm not excusing her age, but look how old she was, and look how old Diddy was at the time. I'm not excusing her age, but unfortunately, there's some guys out there that do that. They would rather go with someone that is much younger than them because they feel like they can mold that person into the person that they want them to be. Because think about it, let's be honest, when you're that young, do you know what I mean? Like you're still trying to figure out the world. You're still trying to figure out who you are. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you may have a good idea of what you want to do and all that stuff there, but you're still trying to figure out who you are. Like your peak growth normally comes after 25. And I'm saying peak growth, but like it's just not to say that you're not a full grown adult at 17 or 18. Well, at 18, it's not to say that, but or 19, but I'm just saying, even from experience, that if I was to think how I was thinking, it's like I think much different than I did when I was 18. Like much more different. Like I feel like personally, and I could be wrong, I feel like I'm more mature now. I feel like I I don't move. I'm not irrational with my thinking. I'm not irrational with the things that I do, and you know what I mean. I'm thinking ahead. That's the other thing. Like most, and this is not to. I don't want to put assumptions, but when I was like 18, I remember I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I was literally thinking of now. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking of now. And even if someone was to promise you something, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you can look forward to it, but at the same time, it's like you're in the moment of now. But that's what I want to get people to understand. All right. And with Diddy's situation, just lastly on this day one, so we can move into day two. All right. Like you got to remember how much power Diddy has. I know, listen, I know, yeah, power, this dynamics, and you can say, oh yeah, but no, you got to remember, she is a music artist. He is a record executive. He had the keys to her music career. He signed her contract. Therefore, she is not literally in control. Oh, look at that. Control. Anyway, like, therefore, she wasn't in control like that. And yeah, you could say, well, you know what I mean? Like, if you think about most artists deals, their first contract is a very bad contract. That's a contract. That's just a music thing. But when it comes down to a personal situation, it was manipulation from day one. From day one. Because he love bombed her and all that stuff. Anyway, we won't get into that. We won't get into that. But let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your thoughts are, because I do feel like it's a scary situation. I won't even lie to you. It's a very scary situation. A very, very scary situation, because you got to remember, Diddy, yeah, he's a celebrity and stuff like that. But with him being a celebrity, do you think that